It is all over for Alan Muir. Welcome back to Fog Football. After about 27 high profile mistakes, we knew sooner rather than later it was going to be bang bang good night. But the VAR official is out after Celtic and Rangers blunders, as Willie Collum wields the axe in crisis talks. That is what the newspapers are saying. Yeah, how great's that? So, Alan Muir's career as a full time VAR operator is over. As after a showdown talks with the Scottish Football Association, the former Category 1 whistleblower was promoted to the specialist role, along with Andrew Dallas and Greg Atkin, by Scottish refs chief Willie Collum. But following crisis talk with Collum and VAR manager Martin Atkinson, Muir has now left his gig by mutual consent, according to the Herald. Now, before we even get into any more of this, is this the correct decision? Well, what you've got to say is, when he screwed pretty much every team in the land, I think everybody was pretty much under the illusion that yes, this guy had to go. And some people are like, oh, but he's got families, he's got a family, he's got this. He don't want anyone to lose their job. No, I don't get right. Why are like footballers, referees, and assistant referees, and people that have got the public eye on them? These jobs, like the cameras are on, right? See if you're working, the 9 to 5 life, and you make one too many fuck ups, you do get sacked. Why do we live under this like false fucking pretense almost, where it's like, oh yeah, no matter what these guys do, they can't get sacked. I think it's honestly, I'm going to say it's the correct decision because the guy's just made blunder after blunder after blunder after blunder, and if you do that in a normal job, man, you're going to get absolutely you're going to be fired, and correctly so. You know what I mean? Businesses and this isn't even this. We're talking about the top of the Scottish game here, and if we want to take this league as serious as what we want to, you do need to get rid of it. As you're killing Mbappe. Straight at David Raya, that was almost 1-0 Real Madrid. European review show or preview show coming very soon. Muir will continue as a referee observer in future, but will no longer act as the eye in the sky at Clydesdale House after a number of high-profile errors involving both Rangers and Celtic. So yeah, as Miguel Marino there almost made it 1-0 Arsenal. Back in October, Dyson Maeda had a goal ruled out away to Motherwell for handball. However, after a review by the SFA's KMI panel, it was determined that the champion should have been awarded a spot kick beforehand after a Stephen O'Donnell foul. Muir was the man at the centre of a Premier Sports Cup final storm after he failed to recommend the on-field John Beaton take another look at Liam Scales' challenge on Flacas Tierney, which should have resulted in a penalty to Rangers. Celtic went on to lift the trophy on penalties. Collum forced to come out and explain the blunder in the aftermath, admitting that the mistake was unacceptable and that Muir, along with assistant VAR Frank Connor, were not forensic enough. The Ibrox club then expressed serious concerns after Muir and Connor assumed their VAR duties after being taken out of the firing line for a period of time. Another chalked off Maeda goal has proved to be the final straw. Celtic saw a late equaliser away to Hibs ruled out after a VAR review as the officials adjourned. The ball had gone out of play before Alistair Johnson cut back for the Japanese forward to make it 2-8 at Easter Road. Replays were inconclusive, with boss Brendan Rodgers accusing the officials of guessing the call. The KMI panel again found in Celtic's favour after another review, and Collum accepted that it was impossible that Muir and assistant Ross knew the ball had 100% conclusively went out, and that the ball was certainly out from conclusive evidence. End of quote there. So, here, obviously, some games bigger than others and all that talk, but the reality is, man, right? Alan Muir, taking him out the firing line for one wee game and then putting him back in not long after, right? Doesn't do anything. I agree with this. You see across the board, man, in these like jobs, like if you can't do your job correctly, you should be demoted. You know what I mean? He's still getting a paycheck at the end of the day. He's just been removed from the VAR room, and I think that's the correct decision. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter who you support. Look at this guy's track record alone this season. I mean, We can go a decade ago or 5 years ago. There's just fuck up after fuck up. And you know what? Referees, right? They're never going to get it 100% correct. But what you would at least expect is them to get the basics right. And you know, like the Maida one, right? As much as I thought it was out, if there was no proof, they should never have overturned it. I thought they found proof, and that's why I was like, well, you know what? They must have found it, right? With the Rangers penalty in the cup final, that is a joke. They just sped through the actual process of analysing that for whatever reason. And then there's a million others we could go through here. It's an absolute disgrace from Alan Muir, man, from top to bottom. And he's not the only one. Frank Connor didn't have a clue what he was doing either. And yeah, I think it's a correct decision, guys. What do you think? Leave your thoughts down below. Now, in terms of what Willie Collum said about that decision, he said, and I quote, "It's not possible to prove categorically that the ball had crossed the goal line fully because we know from previous examples at the World Cup a ball can look out, you know, from certain angles, but then when you look at a camera above, a slight part, a millimetre of the ball can be overhanging that goal line, and that's enough to say the ball's in play. So on this occasion, for us, we expect the on-field decision to be supported and a goal awarded." I would also say that the assistant referee had flagged here and said in his opinion the ball had crossed the line for a goal kick. We would also expect the decision to be supported because there's no 100% conclusive evidence. It is impossible to prove otherwise. You know, at least with that one, if they did that, if they did it that way and it was flagged immediately, then you can say, well, why would he overturn it the same way? But yeah, just a mess, just an absolute mess. Just an absolute mess across the board here from Alan Muir. So he's been taken off of he's been taken out of the firing line. He's been taken out of the VAR drama. Is it the correct decision? Leave it down below. But that is it for Fog Football. We'll be back very soon. Until next time, peace.